After trophy after trophy after trophy after trophy, Manchester City's dominance in England looked like it was going well, until last year came around and the team did struggle, making Pep Guardiola trophyless for the first time since he arrived in England. However, there's one thing that Manchester City have, and that is cash money. Players like Tijani Reinders, Ryan Cherki, and Ait Nuri might help Manchester City back on track, as that's what we're going to be doing today. Taking over the citizens, trying to win every single trophy. As yes, people, this is a Manchester City rebuild for 2025-26, and the first team? I have got to say I'm not playing this. No wonder they didn't win a trophy this season with players like Marmoush. He's good, but he's not the player I wanted. Up front, here he is, Erling Haaland, 24-year-old, and in the reserves next to him, Rodri, beautiful. Two players we really want to use, but when we do scroll down further, we've got Tijani Reinders, Ait Nuri, and Ryan Cherki. The lads I did mention in the intro, Ryan Cherki, only 21. I think Ait Nuri's 24, Tijani Reinders is 26. And the aim of this rebuild is to win every single trophy we can from England, including the Ballon d'Or for one player, which, hey, we could win in Season 1. Erling Haaland might be nominated, but one thing we've got a problem with Man City, not the ratings of the players, but the positions. We need to make him a CDM. As in FC25, it always puts Guardiola's team down as a 4-2-3-1 with left mid and right mid in it, which we are not allowed to change. We've got to stick with the shape we're given, meaning players like Savinho can't play right wing or left wing. As I've shoved him onto the left, Erling Haaland is now up front, and also Marmoush. We want to change him to a left-hand sided player, but to be a left mid, it'd take him 148 weeks. That is taking the mickey. Plus, when players are midfielders, not wingers, there's less chance of a Ballon d'Or. However, there's one player I'm counting on winning that, and that is our striker, Erling Haaland. He definitely should be capable, as if we get the best out of Phil Foden, changing him to a cam to try and make him a little more attacking for us, as we've lost one of the best ones in the Premier League in KDB. That's right, Kevin De Bruyne has gone to Napoli, and also this man, it said on a website somewhere, Yan Couto has gone to BVB, plus Juma Ba has gone on loan to OGC Nice, completing all the outgoings, and of course we've got the new incomings. However, for outgoings, I don't think we're done. Of course, we can sell players. I know this is supposed to be a replication of the 25-26 season, but I need to be able to direct football here with Manchester City selling players. With Issa Kabor the first out the door, James McAtee returns to Sheffield the Blades, and then we've got loan deals like Maximo Perrone, he just arrived back from Como, and then big players leaving the club like Jack Grealish, one of the most rumoured, who was left out of their Club World Cup squad, which they've also lost by the time recording this, to Al Hilal in that competition, and Jack Grealish set for a reset at Man United. A ballsy move to make for him, as also I've got rid of Kyle Walker and Calvin Phillips because we do need to claw a little bit of money back. Yes, Manchester City, a club that are definitely far from poor, but we did spend money on them new signings like Reinders, like Cherki, and it did come out of the budget. So despite Ederson getting old, despite not having an out-and-out left mid, I do want to go right back. Rico Lewis I'm not a fan of, and they're rumoured to a Portuguese one. And no, not Matheus Nunes, but Martin Fernandes, who's made the move to Real Madrid. However, we're Manchester City, and I see they do have a Spanish league release clause, meaning I'm going to rip him out of their squad straight away. Ruthless business. As do you know what else is ruthless business? Erling Haaland went through on goal. So here's to hoping he's won the Ballon d'Or, but I think the ceremony's already gone. And Kvicha, I mean, yeah, fairs. He won every competition last year. And what about this for unexpected? Rico Lewis now sat at a 79, Nunez the same, and Martin Fernandes has caught them up. He's younger than the other two as well, and Kusanov is a player I have always struggled to get good. He's gone to Olympic Lyonnais, probably to the second division, and bossed it with those, as we did loan out a lot of players, including Claudio Echeverri, Nico O'Reilly, which I'm still trying to figure out where I actually play him, and Oscar Bob to Crystal Palace, because he's going to be what McAtee was, playing in all the little cup games, and goal scoring wise, well, it seems like like he might go for the Ballon d'Or this season, Erling Haaland. 44 goals, but I think it does depend on a trophy still. That Champions League won, but if the Premier League's anything to go off, Manchester City top that chart over Arsenal by 3 points back to what it was last year, and Liverpool down to 3rd. Still, that's one of 7, so there is a long way to go with this rebuild. As the Emirates FA Cup is won by Aston Villa over Luton Town, who are in League One, and look at them semi-finalist teams. We were beaten in the quarter-finals before that by Crystal Palace, the team that stopped, obviously, Manchester City winning it in real life last season. And West Ham beat us in the final of the Carabao. That is 2 trophies missed and a 12th place finish in the Champions League phase, meaning we had to go through a knockout round where we hammered Benfica. We then did beat Lombardia, or Inter, the mod pack's gone off. We then beat Spurs 5-4 and beat Liverpool 4-2 to win a first season Champions League. One of the hardest trophies to win, usually, not in this save anymore, Bayern Munich beaten. And I love the fact that that trophy puts us straight into the Super Cup. But do you know what I'd love more? If you guys decided to like and subscribe to the channel. Trying to hit that 60k before FC26. Makes sense, don't it? As look at this. This doesn't make sense. The amount of players running out of deals. Juma Ba, who I want to get the best out of. I do think Ruben Dias has still got it. Ake, on the other hand. I know there's a few players over 30 now, including Ilkay Gundogan, who unfortunately is going to get released, as he does need to shave that beard off. And Mateo Kovacic, he's getting old. Also lost a player to a contract last year, Marcus Bettinelli. He only stuck around for 1 year, and we do have a midfielder on the bench I want to use. In Nico Gonzalez, supposed to be the regen Rodri, and he can take over a player like Bernardo Silva, but I do want another cam in, one that's surprisingly from the same nation as Erling Haaland and has been linked. Or do we try and make Cherky the cam, because on the wing, not much game time. Last season, and with the position change of Marmoush to a left winger, 1, it stops Doku from playing, and 2, it only leaves Erling Haaland as our striker. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is check if he's won the Ballon d'Or. And if he has, that means we can get another striker in, because we don't need to rely on him scoring much. At the moment, I just want him being the main striker, because I want him getting all the goals to try and win us the most trophies, including the Ballon d'Or. Hopefully he scores in the Community Shield. And the Super Cup, as 230 million is literally more than enough, as the player from Erling Haaland's nation is only a youngster, but one that I've seen linked with Manchester City in the recent past. Sverre Halseth Naipan. The only problem is his evaluation, because with these 25-26 rebuilds, I have put strict transfers on, and his release clause is £31.3 million in sterling. I cannot believe we've just paid this much. He better hurry up and grow for Guardiola, as if not, I know he's won loads of trophies, but this is a sackable offence signing him. Sure, he should replace Bernardo Silva, but still, that is taking the mick with the amount we've actually paid for him, and he only just gets a place on our bench, as that cam slot is heating up. Phil Foden was brilliant last season. Now we've got Naipan to back him up, and also I do want to try and make Bernardo Silva still a cam, and Tijani Reinders is now a CDM. I think that's the perfect position for him. As now our thoughts change to defense, because can Kusanov actually break into Manchester City? I think I am going to put him on the bench, but firstly we've got the Community Shield against Aston Villa, another trophy. Bernardo Silva with the goal, and Joško Gvardiol, no goal for Haaland after his chasing that Ballon d'Or trophy, and no more game time for Rico Lewis and also John Stones at Man City. Did want to clear the squad up, and also I've just sold Rico Lewis to Newcastle, who we do play in the Super Cup. That is an Erling Haaland hat-trick, making it 4 of 7. We are absolutely blasting it through trophies with City, and actually make it 4. Erling Haaland scored all 4 goals, as surely this season he has to win the Ballon d'Or, taking it only to 2 trophies needed. And was it really ever in doubt? 44 goals. I think Marmoush was nominated, next to Vinicius Jr. as well. That is another trophy down. Only 2 domestic cups now to win, which in theory should be the easiest, but when you look at these injuries. Around when the FA Cup final should be, we've got Rodri out, who's already 30. We've got Guardiola with an injury. Ederson, our goalkeeper, which is a big position to have missing, by the way. He's got an arm injury, out for 6 days. Not what you want from a goalkeeper, though, and only 2 days on Josh Guardiola. Oh my days, though, this is horrible. An ACL for Rodri, which, to be fair, it looks like he's already almost recovered from. Only 3 weeks out. But is that the injury he suffered in real life? If so, I really feel sorry for him. As Haaland with 42 goals again. He wants another Ballon d'Or, and Phil Foden trying to catch him up. In goal contributions, as on the bench, we've got Naipan, who hasn't played. Okay. That guy definitely needs a loan deal. Something we didn't offer many players out of the club because I did want to keep a squad together, which you need when you're in domestic cups, as we, of course, won the Premier League, which we should be doing with City. However, this rebuild isn't over because the FA Cup, Liverpool beat Middlesbrough 3-0. A first round exit to Norwich City, who literally have just signed a Manchester City player, right? A midfielder. And the Carabao we lost in as well. We lost in the final to Liverpool, 1-0. This is not going well. This is not what I wanted. After seeing 2 back-to-back wins in the Community Shield and the Super Cup, I thought we would be better. As 17th in the Champions League. Almost as bad as last year. Olympique Lyonnais somehow in it. They should have been relegated, and we beat last year's finalists Bayern Munich. We then beat Atletico 2-1. Borussia Dortmund 4-3. And I guess we haven't lost all the magic. A 3-2 win over Real Madrid. We've still got it. We've still got it. And now I do think the spine of our squad is strong enough. These kind of players here, but our wingers now, Savinho isn't a left one. Cherki hasn't really improved. Maybe we'll just try and swap them round. We've got Roger with the injury. Martin Fernandez, who is still only 81 rated. However, we did get rid of Rico Lewis, so I think he will play more. And plus, this time of the save, I'd usually sell the old players, such as Ederson, Ruben Diaz, Akanji, maybe even Rodri. But with us only needing 2 domestic trophies, I feel we really need the experience. And with me running out of suggested rumours for Manchester City to actually sign in this window, I'm going to lean towards actually ignoring the age of players and looking for capable ones. Marmoush, I want to stay on the wing, so Girassi has had a good time at Dortmund. An underperforming Dortmund, so we're going to try and sign him, but we can't actually go through with it.
What?
Fair enough, time for the second option, and someone who was robbed from Bournemouth, like many of players have been robbed from the Cherries, Evanilson. Valencia must have took the opportunity, but now Manchester City are doing really what they do best, taking one of the best players from another Premier League team, although he made that move to Valencia, and I am thinking about a right-back, maybe a return for a player that actually did fall out with Guardiola. However, has since gone on to beat them, and I think that might change Guardiola's mind. Let's just imagine it does anyway, because I want to sign from the Saudi League. I want João Cancelo. Is going to kiss and make up with Guardiola, make up our right-back numbers, and funnily enough, make it 3 Portuguese right-backs all at Manchester City. And I believe with them too, my signings are done. My focus turns to loaning players out, such as Claudio Echeverri and Severe Halstead Naipan, who I did put a lot of faith into. Get some desperate game time into his legs, and now he's 78 rated, Echeverri 79, Juma Bar 77. It's really hard to improve the Manchester City players due to how good the first team is, because we've got Haaland scoring 38. Now Foden has more contributions though. And Rodri joining in. Now he finally doesn't have injury worries. We've lost Ruben Diaz, I'm guessing a contract expiry or release clause. Fair enough, if he wanted to go, he can go. We've got Ederson behind him, who's only improved. Ait Nouri to an 88, and Cherki looks better on the left-hand side. As there we go, Ruben Diaz to PSG, Kusanov to Chelsea. 2 moves I didn't expect, but 2 moves we might not need to care about. If we've won the trophies we need to, as I paused it on the FA Cup finale, hopefully we won the Carabao as well, as there we go, 36 games deep. We should be winning the Premier League as the Community Shield is won as well. We've already won that trophy, and there's the Carabao. There's one of 2 domestic ones, leaving only that FA Cup. Are we still in our Champions League run? Oh my days, yes we are. We're in the finale against Paris Saint-Germain. One game I'd pay to see in real life was in round 3 beating Liverpool, round 4 beating Millwall, round 5 beating Ipswich. A lot of 2-0s here. Then we beat Arsenal by 1-0, Fulham by 1-0, without 2 of our defenders still keeping clean sheets. To give us West Ham in the finale, actually could have been Manchester United. Not going to be the rivals with Grealish, but instead the Hammers. As there's our run to this finale. I do like seeing these new graphics sometimes. Should be a walk in the park, but it's English football and anything is possible. Only 3 seasons deep as well, and Moise Kean is their striker. They've got Irving in the midfield with Ward-Prowse, the captain now of West Ham. Benassa as well sitting in there. They've put all the money into midfielders. Shot in from Sarko. Don't know who that is, but Edison with a catch. However, Phil Foden's gone and lost it. And Irving, this Scotsman, trying to weave a pattern in here. Moise Kean, the striker from Everton. Or ex-Everton now. It is West Ham with all the play here. However, a great tackle by Rodri. But still, the ball falls back onto this man, Irving, dominating in the middle of the park. Moise Kean looking for a shot off. It's back into Irving. Vardiol. I thought handball for penalty there. Or a penalty for handball. That makes more sense. There's now Savinho, finds Phil Foden. We just need to try and get a shot off. It's Irving again! Who is this man? Honestly, the number 39 running the show for West Ham. Forcing a save from Edison. And oh, that's not a good tackle on Sarko. Gianni Reinders, one of the IRL signings. And it's a red card. Player off the field already. And we're being dominated by the Scotsman. And James Ward-Prowse on a free kick. This is going to have worked out better for West Ham United, as there you go. James Ward-Prowse, ladies and gentlemen. Losing to West Ham in the FA Cup finale. Come on, Manchester City. One of the best teams we've ever had. And Erling Haaland's through. It's Haaland for revenge. Not what you expect from a man who's bagged almost 40 goals every season. And that's a brilliant ball into Moise Kean. An equally as good save from Edison. As we are awful. We are shocking. Look, it's Irving even putting a cross in. It finds Max Kilman. Are we really marking players? Because now the chance for a counter-attack. Phil chipping over the top. That is beautiful. Ait Nuri one more. It's Erling Haaland. A terrible touch. And Benassa is back in the way. It's Crystal Palace all over again, like the real-life FA Cup finale. A brilliant turn by Phil Foden, though. Onto Haaland. Just got to shoot a cross goal. And that is it. That was the last chance we had. 10 men against a Ward-Prowse free kick. Means West Ham get their hands on the trophy. Ward-Prowse is lifting it. As for us, though, Manchester City have to go again. Yep, looking at this squad, maybe I did get a little bit complacent after hearing that Ruben Diaz was leaving the club. We signed an aging Joao Cancelo. The other side of defense is okay. I mean, Ryan Cherki has never been good for us. His literal goal scoring's been rubbish. And then Savinho on the right-hand side, not good as well. And when you look at the bench, we didn't even have a centre-back on it. Dixon, why are we playing him? Why are we playing a Walking Dead character? Yes, I do know it's spelled differently, as we're going to trust Juma Bar and Doyle as our backups. And then Ake, probably going to sell him alongside Joao Cancelo. He's probably fallen out with Guardiola again, as Guardiola might get into one of those moods where he wants to complete a full rebuild once more, which he's tried to do this season, and it looks like the board are backing us to do it. 440 million, and yes, I've tried to keep to rumours only, but there comes a point in saves where you've just got to get the best of the best, because there's only one trophy to get, and we need to sign the players who can get us there. And I'm going attack-minded first. Yes, I've paid this release clause, but yes, we've got unlimited money, basically. So Maliro, smashing Cherki out the way, Marmoush, and Wirtz in being the most expensive Prem player, leaving us now on the centre-back search, almost 300 million. And I think Guardiola can't resist going to one of his ex-clubs, Ronald Araujo. Another release clause paid, and I've just realised the kits haven't updated. I'll try to get them updated for the time we are in a finale in this save, which hopefully will be next season. And Cherith, Lele. Or Leye. I don't even know how to say it. Yes, he's not the most expensive. He's better than Martin, Jean Cancelo, and we haven't actually had to sell our Portuguese players. And I never usually go for new gen, so welcome for 51 million. A lot of money splashed in Guardiola's new Manchester City team. And here we go. It's only took almost 4 seasons for me to realise the kits aren't in the game. Sorry about that. They're eventually here. As our 90 rateds are as well. Unfortunately, Molero isn't up there. Same with Josh Gvardiol, but a lot of them are, and a lot of OGs. Including Haaland now with 46. I didn't check if he won the Ballon d'Or. Foden doing okay. But then also Ryan Cherki. Finally, the right midfielder signed in real life actually comes good. And he can go in the team for Savinho. Hopefully it doesn't take too long for him to hit the round running IRL. As we have stopped again where the FA Cup final would be. Hopefully no surprises from West Ham as we look to be on for a clear Premier League title win. And West Ham are finishing 10th. How did we lose to them last season? Genuinely so frustrating, as at least we got revenge in the Community Shield. We must have not won the Champions League, however, because we're not in the Super Cup game. And in the Carabao, we beat Manchester United, so we have won trophies. There's only one still we need to win, and we hammered Brentford 6-0, hammered Bournemouth 3-1, and hammered the rivals again, this time 4-0. Spurs through, Liverpool, Leeds at least beat Arsenal, but then we go and beat Liverpool, and that sets up a tasty finale. Moving from one rival to the other, Tottenham Hotspur should be a harder game, but we should keep 10 men, and we should keep the belief. Here we go. They've signed Rodrigo. What a player to have on the wing for Tottenham. Safe to say I really wasn't expecting that. And is this to be the away kit for a Man City? I can't lie, I'm not too much of a fan, as Cherki should have the skills to pay the bills as long as he's a little bit better than in the last finale, as that's a little move away. Still want to skip past the defender. Trying to feed Erling Haaland somehow, as Maddison delivers a ball towards Ronald Araujo, easily away from the Uruguayan. Still, it's good passing, and Delap has gone from Chelsea to Tottenham Hotspur, and almost to putting them 1-0 up. We cannot afford to go behind again. Probably one of the best teams on paper in world football, and we're doing terribly. I mean, why are Spurs so good, though? They've got Rodrigo, Desiree Doué, Liam Delap, all the youngsters, Pape Sarr, who tries to squeeze past Rodri, but now we've got a little breakaway with Phil Foden. He scored almost as many as Erling Haaland, who has been put against Guti Romero, who dives in. Erling Haaland! How? Just how is Erling Haaland missing a chance like that? Right, Ryan Cherki, deliver towards the smallest bloke in Phil Foden. And they're keeping us out big time, but Phil Foden over the top towards Haaland. Haaland needs some support from Phil again. And he gets it a little bit, tries to cut inside of Ben Davies. Ben Davies is in the Spurs defence. Against a rotating Foden, Rodri and Cherki. We still can't beat them as Haaland. Get on the ball, he's tackling the defenders, but still not getting it to fall to him. But here he is. A decent ball by Reinders, and the turn was too good. Erling Haaland doesn't miss this time. Finally proves how he's scoring all those goals. A brilliant finish. In no offence, Manchester City fans, but what I think is a really ugly kit. That is what we needed, into the side netting past the keeper. Vicario standing no chance, as now Phil Foden. I'd love a goal for him, but still we've got to keep on it. Phil Foden making a brilliant inwards run, and Sarr nowhere near him behind. He has to shoot across net. Vicario, good save. Which hopefully is the last action of the game. Araujo, do not do nervous passes. One of the best teams we've ever built when we've struggled to win back-to-back FA Cups. This time it might go for us, though. Into added time. Erling Haaland against the defender. He's made the wrong move. He slipped over. But we do not care, because Vicario dilly-dallied on the ball, meaning Manchester City will become FA Cup champions and complete their world dominance, or English and world dominance. Guardiola's rebuilt this team, kind of twice going into this rebuild. And if you do want to see other teams rebuild, click my hands and you should be taken to them.